Hello everyone and welcome back to the Adventurers Pack. I'm Scott.
And I'm Emme.
And today we've got another unboxing for you. And it's a pack that I'm really excited for. It's
Eberron!
Eberron! Okay.
Oh my god.
And so we've learned from our last video and we actually have what we need to make sure we get this open. So, what have we got, Emme?
A knife.
Sure, got a knife. Oh no, what, the minis.
Oh, sure. So these are the blind boxes, the Wizkids blind boxes, the icons of the realm from Eberron, the Last War. I mean, we've done several videos on this particular setting. We obviously love it with all of our heart and soul, and so this is our alley. And I also love, surprise and some gambling. So,
Hell yeah. Oh, that one felt heavy.
Oh, did you hear that one? Oh my god. That one ponged the table. I don't know if you can hear that, internet, but it did a pong.
So here's the thing. There are some amazing minis in here. In particular, there are a few Warforged, which I am a big fan of. We've got some, I guess, the Lords of Madness.
Oh yeah, the Dale Kier. Some of the, their challenge ratings are 23 and 28 for, when you really want to screw with your players.
So, because it's just the two of us today, I figure we should each of us take 4 and get
Sure
through.
thing, yeah.
If you don't mind. Actually, you know what? Ladies first.
Aww.
I know. So, yeah, with a lot of things in here that I'm very excited for, and a few things that I just was not expecting. So, I know I've got a couple that I am really hoping we get.
Yeah.
But as always, it's a bit of a gamble, and a lot of these are fairly hefty.
We got a hefty brick.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for, Scotty?
I particularly am hoping for a Lord of Blades. He is one of the he's here actually on the back.
Terrifying.
He is a Warforged warlord who is just ready to destroy the world. Also, I would love one of these cadaver collectors.
All right. Yeah.
So, but let's.
I want a quarry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of those evil nightmare spirits. Well, these ones are evil. Anyway. We got a living spell, I think. Isn't that what that is?
That is what that is.
Yep, this is a living spell. This is a lightning bolt. Woo! No!
It's alright, it can take it.
Right out the gate here, dropping things. Okay, so we've got one of the living spells, which is a really hilarious entry into their bestiary in the back. That after the morning, some of the spells used in that area gained a certain level of sentience, and if you're out there, might smack you.
That idea of the spells being alive. That is a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy this personification of lightning bolt. With this little face on here. Take a peek at this guy.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fun.
No, I was hoping we would get one of those guys, honestly.
Already off to a great start.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. We got Changeling. Oh my god. Ooh. Okay. Oh, he looks good. Like the little this is a direct thing that you'll see in the book. Like this little guy put his hand on a painting, becoming this figure here with the dark hair. And he's just so cool.
Very nice.
I like the way the white kind of invades in the back of his head too. It's a subtle detail. It's not particularly got a lot of detail in it because it's just a white spot, but it looks good.
Yeah.
All right, we've got an Iron Defender.
Hey,
little created homunculus.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
the
cute. Perfect companion for the artificer who goes. What is it? The battle. It's not battle mage, but it's
You know far more about artificers than I do. I'm not gonna lie, because you've played one, and I have admired them from afar.
They are
I
a
thought
lot of
they
fun.
look cool. This is a good puppo.
Yeah, so it's the animal companion that goes with I'm gonna call it the battle mage, even though I know that's not what it's called. Of the artificers that can go off into the battlefield and help them out a lot. So
I love the mold on him and the shape on these little spines on his back. It's got so much detail. He really looks like a Terminator dog, and it's great. Okay, and last, what do we have? I think I know what it is, and I am so ready. Oh my god. All right, we have got one of the Karnathi skeletons.
Ooh, now these guys I thought were really interesting in reading up on them, that they were intelligent skeletons.
Yes.
Like planners.
Yeah, these guys, I want to say, have an above 10 intelligence. So they don't really have a lot of memories of when they were alive. I was reading that some of them might have a little bit, but for the most part, they're not thinking. They're just designed to take orders, take a lot of abuse, stand there for a bunch of hours on end, but they are intelligent, so they're not shambling mounds of bones like you see from a lot of necromancers, which is a fun little difference.
Look at the armor on that guy.
I know, he's wicked. I like how his armor has bones on top of his bones. We're just doubling down on the bones. These wicked little weapons, too. They've got a lot of flavor. You can hear him moving around almost.
Yeah. Oh.
And I like the way he's twisted kind of wrong, too, here. The angle of this is wrong, which really reminds you that he is undead. He doesn't really have muscles. He's twisted not quite in a way that a human being could twist. That's fun. Okay. Solid first box.
Always good to have skeletons. You can never have too many of them.
No.
Alrighty. Always making sure to keep the knife closed when we're not using it.
Safety first, kids.
Now you...
Artificers!
So, I was actually just getting ready to paint one of these. Ooh. Wow. Oh my gosh, the coloring on the legs and the claws. This is great. Now, you've done a bestiary video on the Encade, right?
Yes. They're an early level jibber jabber that comes up from the ground. They're something that you'll probably see at an earlier level, as I recall, and they're just nasty little cockroaches that crawl out of the ground and tend to be around a lot of livestock and things. So
look at all of the little nubs on his chitinous armor and the little spines here. It's
very impressive. I know we've said this in previous unboxing videos that the paint jobs on these are just getting better and better and better, and this guy is really impressive.
Yeah, great paint job, but also like the mold.
Yeah,
a really good mold on that. Oh, that is great.
No, I love him. Oh my goodness gracious. If he had thoughts, you could read them in those eyes.
And then, we've got a shifter rogue. Yeah. So one of these, like a step up from werewolf or were-animal, like just straight up shift.
Yeah, they're a playable race, and there's some debate on whether lycanthropes descended from them or they're descended from lycanthropes, but ultimately they are related.
Look at the mane on him.
I know. He's got a lot going on. He's got a very old-school wolfman look going on here.
Really
I'm
does.
not mad at it, especially considering the roots in noir and early film for Eberron. I'm not mad that that's how his hair looks.
Reminds me a lot of like the a beefed up cowardly lion. This is the cowardly lion after he found his courage.
Oz really changed.
Oh hey, is this a Tarkanan assassin?
Oh yeah, that one's in the back too. And the this is another one of those minis that's lifted pretty directly from the art.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we got a little bit of a bend going on with this one.
Oh, yeah. Her legs are kind of,
Yeah, so we'll have to do a little fixing on that. This sword is really interesting how it's got the little bit of translucence in it along with it being painted.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I'm not sure if it's... I'm hoping it's meant to be like that because it looks kind of cool.
I can only assume, honestly. That just seems on purpose. It looks too cool for it to not be. And you know what? If it's not, it's cool. I like it. Happy accidents.
We'll have to look up in the book the art style on it. See what's going on there. All right, and I think this is my last one here. We've got... Oh, hey, another... Is this... Oh, no, this is... So, not quite the Iron Defender, but this is a homunculus. So, technically, it falls into that same category. And it looks as though... Can I actually see the Iron Defender?
This mold looks like they were based on each other.
Yeah, it's the same mold, just with wings.
Oh, so, yeah.
A homunculus is a construct made by an artificer, usually, that can do their bidding. But that's cool that it's got some wings going on.
He's a flying puppo. He got an upgrade.
I like that. All right.
Next box.
Here we go.
Do.
I mean, we're already 2 boxes in, and I'm enjoying what we've got going on.
Oh, yeah. Again, this is a heck of a set. With a lot of very dynamic and interesting monsters. And a lot of really high-level stuff.
A lot of high-level stuff.
Frankly, very stunned. Oh, my God.
Hey!
It's a cloaker! We just did this one on the bestiary, and we were just bemoaning that we could not find a good cloaker mini, and would you look at this guy? Whoa, my God, I really cannot win. I'm very mean to these critters. Okay, so we have a cloaker here, and oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Look at the little details on his back here with these little... They look... We keep talking about this guy looks like he's an underwater critter, and you'll see a lot of these things in the back for electromagnetic sensory things and a lot of underwater critters.
Yeah.
And he looks awful. Oh, my God.
Oh, that face.
There's some molding issues here. I can see near his tail. You can see the mold lines pretty clearly on this guy, but... Mm-hmm. His face is so scary, I kind of don't care as much.
People aren't going to be looking at the tail.
No, yeah, if you're really looking at the butt end of this cloaker, then, I mean, God bless you. But, yeah, this mouth is awful. These eyes are just, oh, my God. And this is something I know we talked about in that episode a lot, that cloakers are intelligent. Yeah. So this guy is looking at you. He's thinking about you. He can talk to you if you really give it a try. And that really displays well in this mold. Like
we've got a little bit of a color issue. Might need some touch-ups there.
Oh, yeah. Some of his eyes invaded some of his wings. Yeah. That's an easy enough fix.
The color choice on the back and the...
Yeah.
Again, the paint jobs that are coming out with every set are just getting better and better.
Yeah. And I love the ridges here in his wings. That it really leads to that... irregular, natural, but also a little bit scary. There's nothing smooth about this. It looks ragged, almost like he's taken damage. And underneath here, the little muscles on his little abdomen.
Yeah, he's well done, well sculpted.
Okay,
good job, whoever sculpted that one.
Yeah,
well done.
Hats off. Okay, we've got a dude. We've got a dude. This is a dwarf artificer.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, we got a little artificer. He's real burly. I mean, oh my gosh, I cannot be trusted. Apparently not. I've been inside too long, kids. He's got this really burly look. I mean, he's a dwarf, but he's a burly little artificer.
His back.
He's got some arrows, it looks like, or maybe some wands and some paperwork. And that's the other fun thing about artificers is the gear is so individualized. The gear an artificer carries seems to only really be limited by your imagination of what they've made. So this guy could be pretty user-friendly as an NPC or what have you. We've got a little bit of a lean again, I think. I could be wrong, but I think this guy's got a wee bit of a whoop. But again, easy fix. I love his little face, the sculpt on his little face. Take a peek.
Yeah. One thing I'm noticing that I'm really liking is the sort of armor that he's wearing. It's not really heavy. This is someone that for a DM, anyone who would be placing this on the table, sure, it's a dwarf artificer, but it's generic enough that this could be, a guide for the adventurers. It could be a really useful NPC to have at your disposal. Like, you've got a lot of options with this guy. That is great.
Yeah, no, he's a little guy. Okay, what's this?
Ooh.
Oh, we got our first Kalashtar. Okay, great. So this is another playable race within Eberron. These guys have been bonded to a spirit. Either they did or their ancestors did, and it's been passed down hereditarily. But they're usually, from what I understand, they had human ancestors, but it's a little bit more gray in there. And they're very cool. Look at this guy's pants. Look at his fashion choices.
Yeah. That face is just so simple and pure.
I know.
He's like a babe to the world, just doesn't know.
But yet, still making good fashion choices.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah. I like the translucent garbs here, the arm things. It really leads to a very floaty, surreal sort of look to him.
The paint job where the arms meet the drapes is the drapes are a little flesh colored there.
Yeah, and he's got some stuff happening on his very uncovered chest.
Yeah. But that's being nitpicky.
Yeah.
Right? It's still really good.
Yeah, the mold on the chains on his pants I especially like a lot. Okay. We have another shifter. This is a druid.
Yeah.
Again, we've had some leg issues.
I notice on the bipedal creatures, they tend to get a little squishy.
He's actually out of his base right now, so we're going to have to go in and
Oh,
fix
no.
him. But that's I see how to fix him. That's not too bad. Again, straight from the art. This is the art under there for Shifter. I always enjoyed the coloration and the look on this guy's face in the book. There's something about his eyes to his head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's captured pretty well here. You can actually see a little bit of color in the eyes, which is very cool.
Wow, yeah.
And this guy's super awesome kilt. I'm just going to stick with their clothing choices. I guess this is today Emme in fashion. But yeah, no, I like his clothing choices.
So the issue on the base, it's great to see actually that they have a peg in the foot for it to go into, which I don't know if a lot of the older stuff had done that. So that's going to make fixing this guy a lot easier.
Yeah, he didn't just snap off a base that he was molded into. He was put in that base, which is great.
And just even popping that in slightly has fixed his lean issue quite severely. So that's great.
Okay.
Do you want to hand me the sharp implement?
Safety first.
There we go. There we go. I'm feeling lucky with this one.
Is this the hefty one?
I mean,
Pong? Oh no, that's.
I think this is the heftiest one that I had.
Okay.
So let's see. I
see
was
what's
trying to
heavy with the
peek in really quick.
Oh, I saw one of these on the side.
Oh. All right, let's get the rest of these out before I. Okay. So this. It did straight up break.
Okay.
It's fine. So the peg that keeps it in the past, they have had these as removable. I'm not sure why this one isn't, because the floaty peg did break right off. But it's an easy fix. We can get to that later. This is a corpse flower. Yep. Yeah. So, look at all the corpses in it.
Nasty. Oh my gosh, this is like the gelatinous cube of plants with all this just muck and guck floating around in there. It's awful.
So this thing, I believe, is sprouted from the grave of a lich, and if it's not, weeded out too quickly, it'll grow to this size and eventually then uproot and just wander the world, picking up corpses and devouring them. And the more corpses that it has in its body, the more powerful it becomes.
Evil Katamari of Doom.
Yeah.
It's just rolling around, eating everything.
Wow. I love the volume of tendrils that it has. And that is hefty. Feel that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can kind of feel why this guy busted in the box, because it really does weigh a lot. And if this guy rattled for even a second, I almost wonder if maybe we should go in and build a little bit of reinforcement on this base when you do fix it, just to make sure he stays steady, because he is heavy. But oh my gosh, look at the way that these were molded. It's so pretty for an ugly little abomination. He's gorgeous. Now,
one thing I am considering that, I mean, obviously we're going to try and fix this guy first, because we should. But with his weight, if we are unable to fix on the base, I do know that Wizkids has a fantastic customer service.
They do.
If one of these is broken and you message in saying, hey, it's broken, you mail it to them and they will mail you back a replacement. They take care of their customers really well, which, is always appreciated.
Yeah, we've done that before and it turned out really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll save plastic if we can.
I think we've got our first Warforged.
Yes!
And this is the Warforged with the mace option.
Two, I believe. Sword and mace, I believe.
Yeah. Ooh, I like how shiny he is.
He's not a joke. He definitely woke up this morning and polished.
Yeah, it is. He reminds me a lot of Ultron, actually, from...
I was straight thinking Iron Man, so I mean, same thought there.
But seeing more of like the sinew and the tendons that are in the joints on him.
That's one of the most fascinating bits to me about playing a Warforged and deciding about how you were made, what you're made from. Because it's both vague and specific at the same time within the book about what's on their insides. And so if you think about the insides as them, but their armor, when you are Warforged, any armor you put on, you have to integrate into yourself. So this stuff on top is his armor, and the stuff underneath is him.
Yeah.
In a way. And it's cool. I love the color choices. It's very visceral. Yeah, see, Iron Man is thing right in the chat. But yeah, he's just got a very distinct feeling to him, and this mark on his head showed up very well. Obviously, we got to fix his woobly weapon, but that's a pretty standard thing in these boxes. But he looks great.
All right.
Nice.
Moving on. I think I know what this is. So this is an undying soldier.
This is one of the weirdest things that I've found in Eberron. I say that, it's a big book with a lot of weird things, but the Undying Court of Elves, they're good zombie lich people things.
Yeah, the only non-evil undead that I've really seen.
And it's fascinating, and it's this relationship of joining your ancestors in the Undying Court once you've done a lot of things in this world, and it's, oh man, the whole culture of that is so fascinating.
Look at the face on there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know.
Those eyes just piercing through the helmet.
Yeah, and they have such fun goth fashion choice. Again, this is just going to be Emme talks about fashion in Eberron. I'm going to get a podcast for that. But everything about the way they dress embraces the fact that they're going to become undying one day, and that's very visible here on his shield.
The teeth on the shield I find really interesting.
But yeah, the mold up here and the color on the eyes. Oh man, he's nifty.
Another great pull. And I think this is what I think it is as well. So this is a rare, if I recall. So this is one of the harder ones to find. I'm always going to mispronounce this, but it's one of the Kori.
Kori. I'm honestly not sure. Please give us your opinions down in the comments.
So this is the Kalarak, which I believe is the one that is made of shadow and darkness. It is the leader of the three. So these are beings that exist on the plane of dreams, which currently, as far as the Eberron Rising from the Last War setting, as far as it goes there, that realm is under control of an evil, dark being. So all of these creatures of dreams have become evil themselves. And this is one of the coolest looking ones, with all these little dots, which I believe are meant to be eyes, just swirling around.
You know, with the large translucent thing swirling around him, this reminds me a lot of the Githzerai we found in our last unboxing. And the spines on him, the legs on him, everything about him breathes. This guy feels very real. Oh,
that I'm actually really happy with that one.
No, that was a goodie.
It wasn't one that I was thinking, I really want to get, but I'm pleasantly surprised that, or happy to have gotten it.
Yeah, I know those are the ones that I've been eyeballing, as I really wanted some of them spirits. All right, which one's heftier? We're going to do this one first. All right, here we go. Sharp implements. Okay.
So what do you think? Are you more of a, you pick up the box that's heavy and you think that's the one, or do you just have a feeling?
I've gotten so burned by that. I absolutely, when I first started picking these up, I was always, the heavy one, get the heavy one, and then I would start to get repeats, because
you always go for
the heavy ones. So I these days it's a feeling, but I do tend to leave the heavy ones for last when it comes to getting a brick, when I've treated myself. Okay. Okay, we have, I believe this is a half ogre. Let me bust him out in an extremely loud fashion. And I didn't drop him.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Congratulations, me. Yeah, this guy is a half ogre. Was it Order of the Stick that they have the half ogre who's got the ridiculous amount of feats? I'm trying to, I'm making a very obscure internet reference. I apologize, YouTube. This guy, he's just such an old school little monster. Everything about the way he's built, to the paint job, to...
Yeah, even the face.
Yeah, this guy looks like a straight monster out of a whole bunch of old board games.
Really does. I hate to say the phrase nothing special, because he is like
he's classic.
Yeah, this is very much when you think classic D&D. You've got this guy. I mean, heck, even the vest that he's wearing, it's kind of like, yeah, a half ogre would wear that.
Oh yeah. He's nothing that I think expands my imagination past what it's already been done, but I also think about the utility of this guy.
Mhm.
He makes me happy. The mold is really fun, especially on his muscles.
I'm seeing a tankard on his belt, and immediately I'm thinking this would be great as a tavern run by a half ogre who just has this axe like, no violence in here, get out.
I'd drink there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the smaller bits. What do we have here? I believe we have another artificer. Yep, this is a mage right.
Yeah, so these guys were really cool in the, how in Eberron, most everyone is able to implement magic into their everyday activities. So like chefs using magic to cook, tailors using it to make their wares.
A lot of people have a cantrip.
Yeah, and most everyone has a cantrip at their disposal, and the people who do that on the base level are the mage rights. Mm-hmm. So they're a very common occurrence in Eberron.
And look at this hairstyle. I can't stop you guys. It's just where I'm at. But seriously, wicked cool little hair. There's a little bit of cleanup to be doing in there, but that's nothing too awful. There's a lot of personality in this face.
This thing that they're holding as well, immediately to me it looks like a compass. And that paired with the goggles and this stuff going on the pouches on the legs here, I immediately think a navigator on an airship.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, it reminds me a lot of Guns of Icarus. If Guns of Icarus met D&D, this would 100% be a character that you would see.
That all checks. I mean, Guns of Icarus and Eberron definitely have some stylistic overlap.
Absolutely. I would love to see a fantasy crossover. So, makers of Guns of Icarus, the developers, that's the word I'm looking for. If you hear me, contact me. I got thoughts.
And also, cool. Thanks for watching. That's actually awesome. All right. What do we have? We have another skeleton.
Hey, brilliant.
This is another Carnathy skeleton, but he's got different weapons.
Yes.
So this guy is dual wielding some axes, and our other guy over there is dual wielding some wicked looking swords.
Very nice.
They're very similar. The paint job is off a little bit on his eyeballs. His eyeballs have invaded the rest of his skull. Mm-hmm. But his axes look awesome. Yeah, he looks a little doofy.
Oh no! One eye is looking right at you, going and the other's like, "What's that?"
Eye mispaints and eye malfunctions in these minis might be one of my favorite accidental things that happens when they're stamped on, because sometimes they just look so silly.
We've got one very vicious looking frost giant who is vicious, except she's a little cross-eyed, and oh, bless her derpy heart.
It's a lot. It's a lot. We bring it out to give people a laugh sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Halo.
Okay.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, okay. This is a shifter artificer.
Yeah, so another art right out of the book.
Yeah.
So this is the artificer that they use for the I can't get any of them now. The arcanist, the guy who makes the cannons and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. I just love the costumes. I can't stop. Eberron has this beautiful mix of steampunk fantasy and film noir, and if all clothes could be from Eberron, it would be awesome, and we would all look sharp. I love that this guy straight up has his little detective Humphrey Bogart hat and his coat. There's all of this stuff in a little bolero here that I think are just more wands, or again, with artificers, you can really make that whatever you want to be. He's got a lot to say.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. It's very much, he reminds me of the gunslinger, but of magic. Like, he's got all of these different wands at his disposal that can do all these different things, and you best believe you need to be careful if he comes out and you just see a tumbleweed go across. Like, you run.
All right.
There we go. Alley-oop. Alley-oop. Oh, there wasn't any tape over there.
What kind of lame security is this?
I know. I mean, this is hefty tape. We had a lot of difficulty with it last time.
That's very true. Hence the knife.
Oh!
What'd you get?
A
oh my
gray
God.
render. Now, this guy... oh, wow!
Oh my God!
So, he is from, I believe, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Okay.
And it's either Mordenkainen's or Volo's, but I'm pretty sure it's Mordenkainen's. So this creature is like all that it wants to do is find an intelligent being to devote its service to, and will then protect that being. It's not very smart or wise itself. I believe both stats are in the negatives and possibly even in the single digits. But it's a very cool creature. I've actually been wanting to implement them into my own campaigns, so it's great to have it. Again, bigger than I thought from the books.
Are those basically just giant minions from the Despicable Me movie?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, except the way that...
Except for, obviously, much different, but that's just why I couldn't help thinking.
The way that these guys multiply is they grow little like nodes on their body that eventually then fall off and become more of them. It's
straight gremlins, and it's awful, and I hate it, but it's so great.
All that aside, look at the musculature work on the body here. In particular, the chest moving into the arms and that back.
I can't help but think, looking at this skin, that this is incredibly tough to penetrate. It looks leathery. It almost looks chitinous, almost like an armadillo's back in parts around his chest, where the skin is so thick that it would feel almost plasticine touching it. It's...
Now, we've got a few, you can see where things were added in. Looks like half of his head was put in with the lines here. We've got where all of the arms meet. So you're definitely seeing a bunch of the attachment lines there. But
he's so cool. I almost very similarly to the cloaker. I don't care that much because he looks so good.
Yeah.
The hands, look at the molding here in the hands. They're just feelable. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's a word, but we're using it today, kids.
You know that when you put that on the table, the players aren't going to be going, oh, look at those mold lines. They're going to be going, what is that?
And look at the inside of his mouth. It's a silly thing, but you can almost hear him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
That is fantastic. And that's just the big one. Let's get to the small ones. Oh, yay. Okay. I was hoping... So we got this little guy. The Dolgrim, which those Lords of Madness created... were a part of this. This is basically two goblins that have been smashed together into this thing. And so look, you've got the literal double chin here going on with just two mouths that are just one into the other.
All the weapons,
the forearms, and again, great musculature on the back.
Yeah, he's got that Machamp stuff happening in his back here with all the extra muscles and the stuff leading up to his head. He's awful.
I'm liking the spikes on the shield there. That's pretty cool.
He's definitely got a lot of emotion. There's piercings in his ear, which is such a fine little detail. He's got armbands. He's got a lot of detail in for a terrifying monster. Yeah, these guys kind of freaked me out.
Now, I will say this is the sort of thing that if we got a lot of these, you could easily send a mob. But even just getting the one or the two, I would gladly put this down on a table amongst a bunch of other normal goblins.
Just to freak you out a little bit?
Exactly. So the players will go, oh, it's a bunch of goblins, but then see this and go, what is that?
Yeah, that would be more applicable if you're leaving Eberron. I know in Eberron, goblins and goblinoids are a little bit less inclined to be evil. They're considered more of another people, just like everybody else within Eberron, but if you were to throw them down on another table, it would still be equitably awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having an army of these, because I think they're a half challenge rating or something like that.
Something like that. All right, next up. Next up, we got the Dusk Hag. And the Dusk Hag, to me, is very much... I know devils are all about promises, but to me, this is the witch version. The person who will... like the soothsayer who tells you your fortune and will do everything within her power to make sure it turns out in a bad way. I was kind of hoping we'd get one of her. And look, the way that she is hunched over, this zigzag going on in the form of her body.
It's again another one of those physics-defying things where if a person was really standing like that, she'd probably fall over. But that's not really the point of this. The point is that she still somehow is. And that's awful. It means that she's not holding herself up with muscles that we necessarily understand. It's just awful.
It also is doing a great job of showing that these creatures are in motion. Because I know some of the early models and sculpts were just
standing there.
yeah, a creature going ha ha ho ho, and yeah, it's a hero pose, but you don't want everything on the table to have a hero pose.
Yeah, it's one of those things to consider that if it's out on the table, it's probably during battle, so it's probably moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, this mold on this face is just awful. I know she's holding up her hand, but when you first unveiled it, it really looked like she was about to break into song.
She's got a little microphone there going, let me tell you your future. Well. Oh, is this, looks like another skeleton, maybe?
Hey, always need more skeletons.
Absolutely. Oh, this poor thing is way bent over. It's like wedged into the plastic. Oh my gosh.
He's happy there.
Here we go. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What's the story here?
This is a Karanthi zombie. So this isn't a skeleton. This still has some flesh on its bones. So that same sort of thing. These are more intelligent. But yeah, this one is just a little meteor. Look at the lashings on its shield there.
Yeah, these are hilarious.
That is really cool.
I had the little sword here again. We've got some wiggly sword
Quite
happening
a few
here.
Things to fix. We gotta. It looks as though again he's in motion, which is great. But I just popped him off of his thing there.
It's a reoccurring theme here today. I've noticed that this particular batch of minis is hyper dynamic, and I think that might be part of why we're seeing a lot of bendies, is because this one has a lot of humanoids who are in action, and they do tend to get a little bit bendy, but luckily a little bit of hot water and ice water will fix them right up.
Yeah, and now after I've had my go at it, a little bit of super glue as well. But yeah.
The colors are great. He's in motion. I love the mold on the face.
The armor is really cool.
He's just I guess simple, straightforward, but very good.
All right,
this is my last one. Here we go. I think this is my heaviest one, but realistically, I don't know anymore. It's all become just one box now.
I know we've said it, but these are all fairly hefty.
Yeah, this is a hefty one. I would say it's not quite as hefty as the Avernus boxes were, but it's just because that had a lot of really big mamma jammas. But yeah, we got a hefty brick this go. Okay. We got another living spell. I'm not mad at all. This is Cloud Kill.
Yeah.
And he's hefty for a pile of gas. He's awful. Look at all the bubbles on him. He's equal parts sharp and bubbles. And there's kind of where I think I see a face up here. It's not as much as the lightning bolt, but you can kind of see a little bit of a face. He looks almost like he's bubbling out of the ground.
I like that because they did a great job of making it look gaseous, which you need to have for a cloud kill spell. But for both of the spells, they did kind of make them look as if they were a creature within the spell. For the lightning bolt, it was very snake-like or eel-like. This one, it's kind of a combination of a slug, but I'm also seeing like a rhino in there.
Yeah.
Especially in that face.
Rhino grub.
We've definitely got a bit of paint that needs cleaning off there.
That actually looks like it needs to be kind of etched off. I have a feeling that got on from something else, and you could just take a little bit of a nail to it and just chip that away really easily. Because I think this guy, the color's in the mold. It's not like he was painted. At least I think. I could be wrong.
Well, it's taking a little more than my nail at the moment, but we will...
That's for a later time.
These will all get the tender loving care that they need. I have yet to buy a brick with perfect minis in all of them.
I don't think that's a thing. We got her. No way. No way. We got Lady Vol. We got the evil lich. Oh my god, no way. I was reading up on the mythology about her today. Originally, she was the descendant of elves and dragons, and she was one of the last members of House Vol. And after she was killed, her mother turned her into a lich, and she carries on. And it's just awful. She's awful.
This might be
Lady
our
Ilmero.
big rare of the brick.
I think this is. Look at the detail on her wings, on her dress, on her face. There's a little bit of fixing on her wings. One of her wings has descended into her hands, which is probably not a good place for wings to be. But, I mean, easy fix. She's gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Look at the on her mask there.
Yeah. all the little details, the sculpt on her horns. She's glorious.
Now, I know the mini has her as Lady Vol, but we actually had to do a little bit of research on this to see who's Lady Vol. In the book itself, she's under a different name, Lady... Ilmero.
That's because she keeps her name that she had when she was alive, usually to herself. I believe it was Eliana Vol. So, correct me if I'm wrong again, Internet.
I just find it really interesting that the book and the booster bricks have a different name on there. I'm guessing it's because fitting the full name on the base of this would have been difficult. But for those of you who might get this mini and go, wait, what? There's not in there. She is. You just gotta look.
Oh my god!
That's awesome.
I'm so excited! Holy crap! Okay. Here we go. What are you? Oh, hey, we've got the second Kalashtar. All right.
Nice.
So this is, again, another one that you'll find in the book when you're looking up the playable races. Look at the mold on her skirt. That is such a tiny little detail that turned out so well.
Wow.
I would love to have seen a little bit more detail on this feather pink skirt here, but I'm fussing. The mold on her is so good. This little dagger, the ponytail.
Again, with a few of these character minis that we're getting, this is someone that, yes, is a Kalashtar, but I could see her being used as, with that pose that she's got and the dagger in her hand, someone who maybe like runs a town, maybe someone who's in charge of a seedy village or a small township. Like, this is the person who is in charge. She definitely has that feel of power and control, but at the same time being very elegant. She doesn't look like you would be in fear of her. It's more of there is respect.
And they're a charismatic race, so she definitely looks like someone you want to talk to.
Nice. That is great. Let's see if I can put these together with their similar
Organizing.
things. Yeah.
Organizing the hall.
Well, because we're about to have to organize this guy.
Oh, no way. Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got another one of the nightmare monsters that we are pronouncing probably 4 or 5 different ways. Quarry. This guy, I wish I could remember the name of the monster that gave me nightmares from watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a child. But there was one, and this guy's face always reminded me of that.
These multiple eyes just all over its face is terrifying.
I, the other night, just for the first time, saw Detective Pikachu, and there was that Ditto that had those itty-bitty little eyes, and it broke the Uncanny Valley so hard. It was awful. And this guy really reminds me of that.
Also, those claws look fierce. Like, you are going to be taking someone down with that. And also, all of the work done on this front end here, and even then the folds in the back. Guys...
He feels muscular. He feels like you could reach out and feel that, and you know exactly how it would feel. It would feel warm. It would writhe. It would be awful.
Wizkids, you're up in your game.
Dang.
Hats off to you. So we've got 2 of the 3 dreams, which is
really
great.
Big one's the one
I think the really big one is another rare, super rare. So we'll see.
And actually, a fun note: we were talking about the spirits that the Kalashtar were bound to. It's actually Quarry, but from before they were all nightmarish and sad.
All right, here we go. Last one.
It's the My Little Pony! Oh my god!
Oh, yes.
For the internet, when we were looking up what might be in these boxes, I pulled this up and was like, oh my god, it's a straight My Little Pony, and I love it. Oh my god, yes.
So this is a Valinar horse. Now, the Valinar mounts are creatures, they're of the Fae?
Yes. So the mythology behind it is that many aeons ago, there were druids who were fighting in a war and ended up locked in their animal form, and their spirit kind of is imbued into these creatures, this intelligent Fae-like spirit, and they call on their ancestors much in the way that a lot of creatures in Eberron do. There's in Eberron a lot of focus on ancestry and the things that came before and calling on that power, and this is the animal version of that.
That is really cool. The color used on the mane and the tail. It is so reflective, like just moving that around. Oh, and the little goatee as well. Wow.
Yeah, no, 7-year-old Emme would have had this mini and treated it with a lot of tender love and care and just absolutely adored it. It's beautiful.
It is very ethereal feeling. It belongs on a different plane, which, arguably it kind of does. But that is very elegant. I want to figure out a way to work it onto the table because that's great.
So pretty.
Yeah. Wow, I think that's 2 really rares that we pulled here.
Is that one really rare?
And hey, our first duplicate who, man, they are leaning over in the wind.
She's got the Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Like the straight...
So another Tarkanan assassin, our first duplicate there. So that's...
Okay.
It is what it is.
Oh, wait, checker blade. Is it translucent? It is.
Yeah, so that means that probably was meant to happen. And we also got a raptor, or in particular, a clawfoot raptor. Oh my God. I love the coloring on this guy. This vibrant blue.
He's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, this is also... Eberron is such a funny book to me because in the middle of this steampunk noir fantasy thing, also dinosaurs. Just a lot of dinosaurs. And you know what? That's fine. I love it. He's so cool. Look at his little face. Look at the colors on the saddle. Look at his harness. Look at everything about him.
I'm sure we have to find a mini with their arms outstretched so we can recreate that scene from Jurassic World.
Oh my gosh, I want him to be my friend. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, hey, maybe you play a character who befriends a raptor. I don't know.
So, new goal. New D&D goal. Have a raptor. Okay.
All right. And I believe another Warforged. We got the other variation of the Warforged with a sword.
Look at that cool sword, actually.
Yeah.
I like the sculpt on him.
It seems like a more refined version of the Uruk-hai blades from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Whereas in Lord of the Rings, the Uruk-hai are using more bestial, made in the underground. Whereas this was, well forged, well put together.
I just do a little bit of comparison. These guys, looking at the mold, it looks like it's just the arm that's different. The cloak is the same, although it has been painted a different color.
Yeah. Now, is the chest of them the same, or?
Yes, it is. Although this guy, and I don't know if this was done on purpose or not, our little green cloaked friend actually looks to have some battle damage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but it's super cool.
I like it. It's
it adds to some variance. He doesn't have the same mark on his head, and it again, it could be an accident, but to me it really looks like it's on purpose.
It does. It looks as though these spots have actually been carved out slightly, so that means they are part of the mold.
Yeah. Which is so cool.
That one has seen some
He's seen some
times.
stuff, and I love it. I like the variation. It's their job to see some stuff.
That is awesome. So, 2 Warforged, which, again, I'm very happy with.
Yeah.
No Lord of Blades.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, though, a bunch that I... What? We don't need them anymore.
The boxes are done.
A bunch of things I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
But am happy to have. I'm so happy we have a cloaker now.
Oh my gosh, I know. Look at the little things under his mouth. They're awful.
Definitely also a few things to fix, which is fine. It happens. But a really cool haul and a lot of useful things as well.
What's your favorite?
I knew you were going to ask, and I was hoping to ask you first because I need time. It's hard to pick a single favorite. I'm really liking the 2 dream creatures that we have, and the fact that we have both of them. Not the third. But I've always been a fan of the Warforged, and we have 2 of them. But if I have to pick a favorite thing, and to be honest, something that I am likely going to get a lot of use out of, and by a lot, it's probably just going to be once.
In D&D mini terms, that's a lot.
The corpse flower. I have actually been, ever since reading up on these guys, I'm like, oh, I want to include this in a campaign badly. I want to write a session that involves these things, just because of how interesting they are. This and the cadaver collector, because they kind of had the same feel to them, but one was created as a mechanical thing, but this one was born of kind of an evil grave. Yeah. So I might have to go with the corpse flower.
He is glorious.
Yeah. What about you?
boy, similar problem. I might have to go with this little raptor. Just look at him. Look at his little face. Look at his little hands. Look at his little, everything about him. He's a hard one to beat, especially with that really beautiful blue on him. He's gorgeous and beautiful. And of course, there's also Lady Vol. I am so happy we got her. Yeah. I am so very happy. She's beautiful. She's stunning. She's awful.
Probably we'll have to use her as a big bad at some point. It's going to have to happen.
I forget what her challenge rating is, but...
High.
High.
So there we are. Unboxing of a brick of Eberron, rising from the Last War, Icons of the Realm, or Icon of the Realm.
Icons.
We did it! And we're really happy. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever a new video comes out. Also, if you would like to watch more videos, you can click right on over here. We'll have videos for you to watch. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.